An outpouring of pride among the kebaya-wearing community after the garment was inscribed by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage. For many, the global recognition is just the beginning as they hope to inspire future generations on the kebaya's timeless style and elegance.
These are more than just pieces of clothing. Woven into them is a rich tradition, one some experts believe dates back centuries. For one kebaya maker, paying tribute to her own past is what makes the garment so special.
I saw pictures of my grandmother, I saw pictures of my mother, I saw pictures of my aunties and their relatives wearing a kebaya. A kebaya is a symbol that represents the woman of our region and culture, and sharing this kebaya garment to the world is actually telling them about our beautiful roots and culture.
It is therefore adopted.
The kebaya is now recognized as an intangible cultural heritage by UNESCO, thanks to a multinational nomination by Singapore, Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand. The recognition also comes with responsibility to safeguard the kebaya tradition for future generations. Plans are already afoot to engage Singaporeans. Next March, we'll see vending machines selling kebaya-themed merchandise designed by Nanyang Polytechnic students. Primary school students can also look forward to a kebaya digital game and resource kit to learn more about the garment.
I do hope that this inscription will spark curiosity among Singaporeans, especially the younger generation, to learn more about the kebaya, find out more about it from their friends and family, and even try one on for the ladies who have yet to have the experience of doing so. In terms of NHB's outreach efforts, we will continue to feature kebaya at our various events and programs on Singapore heritage.
For now, the UNESCO inscription is sparking a new wave of enthusiasm towards the kebaya, with many eager to spread the word on its qualities.
I've noticed that the global fashion industry is increasingly valuing authenticity, craftsmanship, and cultural significance in outfits. And the kebaya certainly embodies all these qualities perfectly.
I believe that the kebaya will gain a wider understanding amongst people outside the region and also in our region, understanding the different breadth and diversity of the kebaya that exists.
With the kebaya, Singapore now has two elements on UNESCO's list after its successful bid for hawker culture in 2020. It is also launching a bid with Malaysia to inscribe the Chingay parade.
The kebaya is a garment filled with meaning and called by different names among the various Southeast Asia cultures. In Malay and Bahasa Indonesia, it is called baju panjang or long tunic. Now, this version is a knee-length robe worn over a batik sarung skirt. In Singapore, the more common version is the Nyonya kebaya. It is a tighter fitting and sheer embroidered blouse, also paired with a batik sarung. The Nyonya kebaya could have originated from Java, Medan or Surabaya in Indonesia. It was worn by Javanese women who were married to Dutch or Chinese Peranakans. The baju panjang, on the other hand, is thought to have been derived from the Turkish traditional dress. The kebaya has evolved into two main styles, traditional and modern. The traditional kebaya is made from muslin or voile fabric and is decorated with embroidery and lacework. The modern kebaya is made from printed batik, cotton, satin and chiffon. It is usually unembroidered. A familiar example is the uniform worn by Singapore Airlines stewardesses. Now, these are some of the prominent Singapore women who have worn the kebaya in public. In Singapore, the kebaya is worn during festivals such as Hari Raya Puasa, Chinese New Year and Deepavali. It is also donned during important life events such as weddings, formal occasions and parties. Now that the kebaya is recognized as an intangible cultural heritage, what's next when it comes to building more awareness for it? Here to share more is kebaya designer Raymond Wong from Rumah Kim Choo. He is also among Singapore's stewards of intangible cultural heritage. Mr. Wong, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me here.
First of all, your reactions. How are you and the community of kebaya stakeholders feeling about last night's inscription?
Okay, the first thing I got the information, I was like so happy and elated about it. And we started to have like all the barrages of SMS coming to my WhatsApp. And we started to be posting whatever we can on the inscription, the news, out on Facebook and Instagram to let everybody, as many people know about this good news.
We felt that outpouring of jubilance and pride, really.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it is a historic achievement for the community. And you've brought along with you tonight one very beautiful kebaya.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. What type of kebaya is it, and what is its influence?
Okay, this one over here is the Nyonya Kebaya, which is known in Singapore. Yeah. However, in different parts of Southeast Asia, it has different naming conventions. For example, in Indonesia, they call it kebaya encim, while the Penang Knights often, some of them would call it baju puateng tesa, which means half long, half short. So you know that the back is short, the front tapered ones are the longer part.
And this is specifically for the Nyonya Kebaya. Front would be longer than the back, is it?
Usually the front would be slightly longer and the back would be shorter. Yeah. However, generally most of the kebayas would be slightly shorter above the hip level.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, is there a reason behind that?
I think it makes the women's body look more feminine. It makes, because for Southeast Asian women, they tend to have very long bodies, shorter legs. So when you have the kebaya slightly shorter, it makes the proportion look more feminine and beautiful.
What are some of the techniques that go into making a kebaya like this that people don't really know about?
Okay, many people do not know that the kebaya is a form of slow fashion. So we have people who tailor them, pattern drafting, and secondly, we have to send like myself. I would actually start to draw and design the embroidery to match to the body shape of the customer, and then we pass it to our embroider, or I myself would do the embroidery onto the kebaya, and the kebaya would have lots of lace work, which we call kerawang.
Kerawang. Yeah.
Yes, and lots of sulam, which we call embroidery up onto the clothes. And for the Nyonya Kebaya, though the garment is a tailored gown, but because of all the embroideries and the lace work, it's a feast to the eye. It has been raised to a level that it is of an art form.
Yeah, for sure. Yes,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So that's why many Singaporeans, they actually found favor with the Nyonya Kebaya, and often they'll wear it to represent Singapore.
I like that you said kebaya is slow fashion. I think that is something that people should know about this kebaya. It holds such special meaning for many of us. You know, it's more than a piece of clothing for many of us. Like, for me, for example, I still hold on to my late grandmother's collection, and I have my own collection. My mother has her own collection too. How significant is the kebaya for the everyday Singaporean? Where does it stand in our history books?
Okay, in the past, it used to be a daily garment. So for the daily garments, they usually would have lesser embroideries or no embroideries. It's usually the formal occasions, then they'll have them widely ornate like the ones over here. However, in today's context, you don't see a lot of Singaporeans wearing it every day, mainly because it's just too ornate to be worn out daily. And even for the sarongs, some young Singaporeans do not know how to lipat their sarongs. And even if they manage to lipat their sarongs, they might find difficulty trying to walk and run and chase the bus or MRT. So we have to think ways to make the kebaya more easily worn by the younger generation today.
More accessible,
Yeah.
So, yeah, as you said, you know, when we think of kebayas, usually the traditional design comes to mind, but there are efforts these days to modernize the design. So do you think we're able to appeal to a wider group of wearers, the younger generation, as you were saying, by reimagining what a kebaya would look like?
It all depends on how you want to move on and move forward with the kebayas. For example, many years ago, I decided to add crystals onto the Nyonya Kebaya. But back then, when I first did it, an old Peranakan bibi came and scolded me and said, "You're adulterating my kebaya. Traditional kebayas have no beadwork or crystals." But to many young Singaporeans, they find relevance in it because for weddings, when they wear it out, they look and feel glamorous with the crystals sparkling on the stage when they are up there.
Yeah.
And even some of my customers, even their moms and their mother-in-law will wear during the wedding because they are the hostess of the night. They want to look at the best. And for us as heritage business owners, we also need to be really sensitive to the voice of our customers sometimes. So for instance, I've done kebayas which is totally halter cut, because some of my customers find that Singapore is just too warm, but they just want to wear the kebaya, and they want me to maintain the silhouette of the kebaya because they felt that that's the essence of the kebaya that makes it so memorable, especially like the SQ uniform.
Yeah.
People remember the silhouette so well.
Yeah, that's right. We've done very right on that front. There are many groups and individuals in the community that are working really hard to champion the kebaya cause. We have Studio Gypsy, Ratiana Kebaya Society, and yourself. How else are you and other kebaya stakeholders reaching out to promote the kebaya to more people in Singapore and overseas?
I'm actually a member of the Peranakan Association Singapore, and we work closely with the association to see how to create more social environments for our Peranakan members to be able to have the chance to come together, meet together, and wear the beautiful Peranakan garments. So I think it's really very important because in the past, the people can wear it daily, but in today's context, it's difficult. So we need to create that social environment. Then more young people will take that chance and effort to actually wear the kebaya more often.
What is it about the kebaya that you think people need to know?
I think people need to know that the kebaya is not just only worn in Singapore alone. Many young Singaporeans do not know that it is worn sporadically around Southeast Asia. And I hope that through this inscription, more young Singaporeans will be able to appreciate that we have one commonality, the kebaya, but we are all different in our different regions, but yet we can come together and appreciate and accept each other's shared heritage. I think this is really very important.
Mr. Wong, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
That was kebaya designer Raymond Wong from Rumah Kim Choo.